Okay, so here I am taking my non-dairy creamer. This is a new creamer that I haven't tried before, and I am adding it to the melted chocolate bar over a double broiler so it doesn't scorch the chocolate. I'm adding just a little bit at a time so it doesn't get too thin, and as I'm stirring, the lumps that you see are small bits of cranberry, dried cranberry and almonds, but the chocolate has a great orange flavor to it, so I thought it would make a nice addition to the cake. Here I am just stirring it down, making sure it's the right consistency, because I'm sure it will thicken as it cools. Now I'm taking flaxseed and grinding it up in my coffee grinder, but before I do that, I'm measuring out 5 tablespoons, and this is to replace any vegetable oil or any oil that you may be using. I found I could probably cut down on the flaxseed and use less, maybe 3 tablespoons would be enough, but I'm using my coffee grinder to grind that, and then I'm adding 5 tablespoons of water. It turns into quite a thick paste. Now I'm adding a cup and a half of flour. And I'm adding a half a cup of coconut sugar as my sweetener. A half a teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of baking soda and 3 tablespoons of cocoa powder. And I'm going to whisk up the dry ingredients. Make sure there's no lumps. Now the wet ingredients, I'm pouring in 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. This is in a different bowl. 1 teaspoon white vinegar. A half a cup of maple syrup. And just about a tablespoon of molasses, just for a little added flavor. Now I'm going to put the flax mixture in, and I have to really mix this well, so I'm going to use my hand mixer. And I'm going to pour the wet ingredients into the dry, and then in my pan I have it lined with parchment paper, which I've just kind of cut around the edges. This will fill a 8 or 9 inch round cake pan, and it's just enough for my husband and I. So I'm just emptying all the batter in there, and it's going to cook in a 350 oven for about 35 minutes, or until a toothpick comes out clean in the center. Now I'm frosting it with the chocolate, and it's still a little warm so it spreads easily. And my husband is just getting his cake ready to frost. But this frosting is so good, and the cake is so moist and dense, kind of like a torte. It is really good. Here is his cake. He needs directions like that. And he's going to frost his. And here is mine cut. It is so good. and his cake tastes like the Duncan Hines I always remember. But this is a great vegan alternative. It is wonderful.